You need to change the fuel filter on your 2025 GMC Sierra Denali 2500 HD. I'm going to show you how. Alright, first thing, you want to situate yourself in between the driver's side door and the rear passenger driver's side door. And then you want to kind of scoop right under here. We're going to do that and I'll show you exactly where your filter is. It's a little dark, so I'm going to take this ND filter off. So as soon as you're here, you want to look right overhead and right there. That's your fuel filter. Alright, let's go over some materials that you'll need. First thing, a rag, 100%. I recommend a set of coveralls because you're going to be on the ground, you're going to be getting a little dirty. You need a 1/2 inch torque socket wrench. You need this one is the TP1015 fuel filter. It looks like this. And it comes with a set of O-rings, large and small, like that. Perfect. Next, you'll need a 36 millimeter socket. Looks like this. I see you. Pair of rubber gloves. And you don't need it, it was just recommended. But it's a T15 through T40 hex drive set. There is a small little tiny plug that you can take off of the fuel filter cap that slightly drains it, but you don't really need that. And lastly, you need a bucket to catch any residual diesel that's in the compartment. All right, let's get started. Here we got some diesel coming in. Okay. I'm gonna let that drain a little bit. I don't want a big old splash. Oh. All right, she's coming down. Beautiful. Got that right into the bucket. And now we can move on to cleaning. So once you have that in the bucket, Dex, no. Good boy, stay back. You can't be drinking no diesel. He's a good boy, but he just likes to be involved in the mechanicking. So once you have that fuel filter out, should be a pull apart. Man, I'm not understanding why that's not coming off, truly. There you go. That's some movement, but there you go. Just takes a little bit of elbow grease, but you get that out of there. So here's the old filter. I'm gonna show you guys the new one. There you go, guys. And this is why you need to change your fuel filter. But before we go on to that, let's take our rag and let's go ahead and clean up in here. This way we're really guaranteeing that we're setting something fresh. Now, this O-ring here is supposed to come off and you're supposed to replace it every time. I'm gonna do that. Just give me 1 second. Here's the new O-ring. So I'm actually gonna soak this O-ring in some of this diesel down here because it does need to be lubricated. So see if we can get this O-ring out of here. Yep, nice and easy. It just tucks right under and you're out. So they're out with the old and in with the new lubricated. So you just want to guide that along, make sure it comes in. Cool. Cool. All right, new one's on. We're good there. So put that in there. Want to make sure it's nice and tight and sealed like the other one was. So what I am noticing is, and I'll show you here on the old one. So there's this O-ring here, right? That O-ring exists on the new ones, so I'll show you that right here. Supposed to be a stem in which you install this tiny little O-ring. Well, that's right here. When you go to reinstall the fuel filter, you will see the stem that I'm talking about. It's right here, so let's rip that old O-ring out. I do have my trusty bucket here, so I will be lubricating this new O-ring. So we have the new O-ring. I'll show you right there. So you just put that on there. You ask it to marry you. You know, hey, will you marry me there, Duramax? All right, it said I do. So now you install the O-ring. Cool. All right. Now. Okay. So now we have our fuel filter installed, cap, and you want to come over here. Let me show you guys an old trick. So, if no one's ever taught you the Mason twist, all right? So you go to the left until you hear a click while pushing up. There, that was the click. I'm gonna do it one more time so you guys know what I'm talking about. So you take it out, put that on, and you start twisting to the left until you hear a click while pushing towards the threads. There's that click. And you'll feel it set in. What this does is assure you that you're not gonna cross thread. All right, so now we're in there. All right, fuel filter's on. Okay. All right. Now, you can actually feel a little separation in here. Let me go grab my torque wrench. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this back on, analyzing the torque wrench. Now there is a torque setting set here. Okay, so go ahead and read that. Might be different on yours. Awesome. And I'll just start. And this is where it's so important that you do that Mason twist, because here when you start to torque this thing is when you're likely to really be causing damage and cross-threading. And once something's cross-threaded, especially something like this, in this position, you are not going to tap and die that, which is just rethreading it. It's over. Whatever that housing is will need to be replaced. Okay. And like I said, you can, there's a gap up here between the fuel filter cap and the housing that you can kind of, when you're here, you'll be able to visually see that there's a space, or you'll be able to feel it. And right now that gap is closing. So I'm waiting for, all right, that sounds good to me. I'm waiting, and I'm checking it on all sides to make sure. Give it one small little twist. Cool. All right. And we'll take this off here. I might be replacing this fuel cap with a metal one in the future. Okay, that's on there. All right, everything feels good to me. I'm gonna get some light in here. I just taking a look at that gap with a light, and it looks good to me. All right, we should be good. After you do something like this, obviously you want to keep your eye on it, make sure that nothing's leaking. Actually, I'm gonna take this rag. Dry area off. Yeah, perfect. All right, so yeah, I'll keep my eye on this, check for leaks, but that's how you do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And to all you 2025 Duramax owners, enjoy your truck. I'll catch you guys on the next one.